All right, welcome back. Episode 2 of Talking Tridents. Today, Mariners have not made any moves yet, so we
We
kind of
did
wanted
nothing.
no, we kind of wanted to do something fun on this episode and take a look at the Mariners' active roster as it stands today, and put in our thoughts for what we think the opening day roster lineup and rotation is going to look like if the season starts tomorrow. Um, yeah, I I wanted to say something exciting. Top 100 prospects. Mariners have 7 top 100 prospects on that
Us
list.
and the Cubs. That's it, man. That's it.
Yeah, I am very excited for the future. I'm very excited to see what happens, but we're going to dive more into that in a future video. Today we want to just take the active roster, saying no more acquisitions or trades. Anything is going to happen. Season starts tomorrow. What's what's our roster going to look like? Who's your picks? Who are you starting? What's your rotation going to look like? And yeah, let's jump right into that.
Before we get into that, I do want to say too. This is with standing, like we said, standing roster. We have
Hmm.
2.5 weeks till the pitchers and catchers report. I hope something happens, but I
Yeah.
went off of just what we have now. I think Devin did the same. So let's go into it. Obviously, I don't think we really have to talk about catcher. We know who's going to be behind the plates opening day.
Yeah. So you want to start? Yeah, you want to start with let's run down the list. You want to start with catchers?
Yeah, I got Cal Raleigh penciled in opening day catcher. I mean, there's really no other option there. I think unless obviously pending any crazy happenings, I think Cal Raleigh we're going to see him behind the plate.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Cal Raleigh, catcher, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's no really competition or position battle there. Yeah.
I think this is where it's going to get interesting because I know we're going to differ on this one, but who's the backup just in case? I obviously got Mitch Garver. I think he's owed 12 million. He's going to be on the roster, and but
Yeah.
I have Mitch Garver backing him up.
Yeah. As the roster stands today, yeah, I agree. Mitch Garver, backup catcher. I think that's really the way, or the only position that you're gonna get the most out of him. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if he, does some time catching, okay, fine. At least you're not
Yeah,
having him.
every fifth day, just to keep Cal Raleigh fresh. Really,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to throw Harry Ford in there. I'm surprised.
I would. I would love to. Yeah, but I wanted to stick with like
Yeah,
the active roster. Who I don't want to. I'm not gonna do
unless
any. Yeah, any like call ups, Harry Ford, Cole Young.
unless he
Otherwise, yeah, I
Mitch
would have.
Garver's traded, yeah, Harry Ford's not starting opening day roster.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, having Mitch Garver as a backup catcher, that way you eliminate him from DH, being able to DH, and I think that's really his only value on this team is going to be
Mm-hmm.
as a backup catcher. So
Yep,
yeah,
that's fair.
I got to go with that. But
Who do you have
um,
penciled in first base?
as it stands, opening day first base, I got to go with your guy Luke Raley at first
Really? All right,
starting.
there you go.
Yeah.
I had Luke Riley
Uh,
in a different spot. We'll get to that later. But I penciled in Tyler Locklear. I think with the little acquisitions we've done, he's going to be on the 26-man roster. Why not start him opening day first base and give him a shot? If you're not going to go out
yeah.
and acquire anyone else, give him his shot that he deserves. Get him some regular plate appearances because with the way the roster will go over stands, I think he's going to have a shot to get quite a bit of plate appearances this year. So I have Tyler Locklear penciled there at one.
Okay. Yeah. I think I agree with that. I think Luke Ray or uh, I think Tyler Locklear is gonna have a good shot this season at get a lot of playing time. I mean, as the roster stands, if we don't make any first base moves, I think he's gonna have an opportunity to get a lot of playing time, see a lot of at bats, and if he takes advantage of that, then we'll see what happens. But I
Mm-hmm.
think I would go with Luke Raley as first base starter,
Okay.
and then yeah, second base. Who do
Yeah.
you got?
Moving on to second base, I think Donovan Solano is going to be your opening day second baseman. Dylan Moore's not going to be there because he's going to be somewhere else, and I just don't think they're going to start Ryan Bliss. Donovan Solano is going to get a lot of play appearances this year as the roster stands. He's going to be playing 130 games, so I haven't seen someone at second base starting on the Mariners, and that's what. Yeah, what do you have?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think Donovan Solano is your second baseman, your everyday second baseman. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't,
cool.
yeah, I don't see any other any other options there.
Let's
So
let's say the shortstop on three then, because I think we're gonna have the same answer here. So one, two, three. JP
JP
Crawford.
Crawford, yeah,
Uh,
of
I
course,
really hope he has a bounce back season. We need it badly,
yeah, me too.
especially from him.
Yeah, I like JP. I think, yeah, we need him to have a bounce back season. So yeah, shortstop JP. Who do you have at third? This is
Dylan
this.
Moore slots in for me.
Okay, I agree. Yeah, Dylan Moore.
Yeah, he's his defense is really good. I mean, obviously he won a Gold Glove last year, and
Yeah,
we're gonna see him other places. We're gonna see him at second. We're gonna see him at shortstop. But I think he's gonna be our opening third baseman with current roster. He's gonna be hitting eighth or ninth. He's gonna be out there. And the thing is, he's been a workhorse. You know, he's ready to go. So that's where I have him at third.
yeah, yeah. I agree. With our current options, I think I'd like to see Dylan Moore at third. Um, get some extra or some more at bats from him. Steady playing time. I think the third base corner is going to fit him the best. So
I agree.
yeah,
Moving towards our outfield, I don't have anyone in any specific position. I just had our three opening day outfielders. I think we know who's going to be in center field, but Julio Rodriguez,
Yep.
Randy Arozarena, and Victor Robles are
Yep.
our three guys. I mean,
yeah,
that outfield looks really good on paper, and I really hope that each of them have a career year because if they each have a career year, that makes this year super interesting where the Mariners end up come playoff time. So.
yeah. I agree. I think Randy Rosarena needs to step up.
Yeah, last year was a little bit of a fluke. I don't think that'll happen again.
No, I hope not. I hope not. Getting a full season here, I think. Yeah, he's gonna be huge. He's gonna be crucial to this team. I mean, I think he needs to step up. Obviously, we know and expect what Julio's gonna do. Victor Robles, I'm excited about him. I hope he can kind of pick up where he left off last season. And obviously,
If we can get a whole year of Victor Robles with last season, dude, that's gonna be exciting.
oh my gosh, I know.
He's gonna be a steal at whatever he's making. I think $4 or $5 million next year. He's gonna be a steal if he can even hit 280.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Stealing
100%.
bases out of maybe 40 to 50 bases a year. I mean, these are all optimistic, I know, but that's gonna be crazy. If that's our three outfielders, I mean, we very well could see three Mariners outfielders at the All-Star game.
Yeah, I hope so. I would love to see that. I would love to see at least Randy and Julio for sure.
Yeah.
I think they have the best shot. But yeah, I mean, the outfield, not much to really argue there.
Mm-mm. DH is where I think is going to be interesting. I have Luke Rayleigh at DH opening day. I think his bat's
Okay.
valuable enough to be in the lineup. Tyler Locklear doesn't have a lot of ability to play anywhere else other than first base. So I put Luke Rayleigh as our opening day DH.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I see where you're coming from. My DH who I have is I mean, I think the DH position is going to be, they're going to have some rotation there. I think it's just going to be kind of whoever they can get in there. I don't think they're going to have like an everyday DH.
Mm-hmm.
But my pick's going to actually be Dominic Canzone.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't have him on my 26-man roster, so that's a.
Oh, really?
No, I don't have him on there at all. I mean, with Mitch Garver being there, obviously we'll get to the bench in a second, but Mitch Garver, Mitch Haniger, and Donovan Solano, I mean, I think they're going to take a bulk of DH time other than Luke Rayleigh. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't have Don Canzone there, but you know, I see where you're coming from. I'm very hopeful for him as well.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I'd like to see Dom Canzone. I mean, I think he offers. Obviously, he's not like a crazy power guy like what a typical DH is going to be, but I think his speed and he's going to get limited playing time in the outfield, obviously with who we have in front of him. So I don't know. I'd like to see him at DH, see maybe get some speed, and yeah, I kind of like what his potential bat could be. So yeah,
I think
This year, if Dominic Canzone doesn't work out, I think this is the year the Mariners give up on him. And it sucks to say that because, I mean, when we acquired him, back in, what was that, 2023? All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we acquired him, I mean, he was a stud down in the minor leagues. Dude was hitting
Yeah.
down there. And I really wish it translated and hasn't yet. So hopefully he can surprise me. Hopefully he can, be our opening day DH and can contribute in a major way this year.
Yeah.
Moving to the bench, though, so with, obviously 5-man rotation, 8 in the bullpen. You guys have four guys on the bench.
Right.
My 4 guys we already talked about. We got Mitch Garver there. Obviously, Mitch Haniger, he's being paid too much. I'd be shocked if they DFA him. I really want them to, just because he's got so much. I mean, Mitch Haniger, I have your jersey. You did a great job a few years back. I'm sorry, but roster's looking different now. And then I have Austin Shenton as another backup on the bench. I think he offers a lot of versatility in the infield, especially with the uncertainties at second base and third base. I think he offers a lot of versatility there. And then we talked about this a little last episode. I want athletic guys on the bench, and those 3 guys. I mean, Mitch Haniger and Mitch Garver at least are not the most athletic, but I put Ryan Bliss in the last spot there. I think his option at second base, he got some reps in the outfield in Tacoma last year for the Rainiers. And his speed is just invaluable. I mean, imagine having him as your pinch runner for Cal Raleigh in the 8th inning close game.
Right.
A lot of options are available there.
Right. Yeah, I pretty much similar to you. Obviously, Mitch, like we said, Mitch Garver is going to be on the bench as the backup catcher. Mitch Haniger, he had his time with the Mariners.
He's still a great veteran presence. I mean, keeping him on the bench is not bad. I wish we could use that $16 million elsewhere.
Oh, 100%.
He's going to have his value as a pinch hitter, playing every couple of days. He could still play defense, so.
Yeah, he had his time with the Mariners, but I think his time is over. I'd like to see them DFA him as well, but I don't think they will, just because of how much he's owed. So I think
he's a more realistic scenario is a salary dump to Miami Marlins need to get their payroll up. So
yeah. So I think Mitch Haniger is going to be on the bench for the outfield. He's going to DH probably here and there. So, and then I agree with you, Ryan Bliss on the bench for the infield. I think his versatility with shortstop, second base, his speed, his potential, I think he's going to be there. And then I think also Austin Shenton's going to be there because third base, first base potentially, and they just acquired him this offseason, so I think he's going to get a chance for some playing time as well.
No, I'm curious now. Sorry, I know we're going over the lineup, but I want to look at Austin Shenton really quick. I mean, I think he's the one guy that a lot of people are saying he's not going to be on the roster. Why did we get him back? We traded him away, but I mean, I'm going to pull his minor league stats really quick.
Okay.
All right. Last year he played what looks like 83 games in the minors. I mean, he hit 20 home runs, 65 RBIs, had an OPS of 858. Not bad. I mean, batting average just shy of 260. So there's something there. I think with the Mariners roster the way it is now, there's going to be some opportunity, and if he takes most of that opportunity, just like I hope Dominic Canzone does, he's going to get some consistent playing time. There's spots there.
Yeah.
Giving him a shot as well as Ryan Bliss, I think, just makes sense. It's just logical.
Yeah. So one major difference is I don't have Tyler Locklear on the roster. You do. So we'll see.
Who was in that last spot then? Was that Dom Canzone, right?
Yeah, Dom Canzone. Yeah. So
I think the only reason I didn't put Dom Canzone on here is because you have Luke Raley as your fourth outfielder option, and then you also got Mitch Haniger. And I don't think it makes sense to have 6 on the opening day roster, but I see where you're coming from. If Dom Canzone has a blistering spring training, we're going to see him on the roster.
Yeah.
Just like if Austin Shenton or Ryan Bliss they have like really hot spring trainings, we're going to see him on the roster. So
yeah, I agree.
Where you're coming from.
Yeah. One thing I'm very excited about this roster is the potential for opportunity for a lot of our young players. I mean, like we kind of mentioned earlier, we're going to get into this in another video, but I just kind of wanted to mention we have a lot of positions with opportunity from players coming up the pipeline. So I think a lot of those guys, if they want their opportunity, they got to take advantage of it, and it's exciting. I know prospects don't always work out the way you want them to, as we know as Mariners fans, but. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what happens spring training and going forward. But yeah, as the roster sits today, I think that's what I think that's what we're going to be looking at.
I think moving into the rotation, I don't think we're going to have many differing opinions on the rotation. We have our 5 guys.
Yeah.
It's more of just who's going to be opening day starter.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Who do you think is going to be pitching on that first day?
It's tough. That's tough. As our rotation stands, I mean Castillo's still in the mix. I mean we have multiple guys that could be our opening day. I think.
I think all five.
Could very well do a good job as an opening day starter.
Yeah.
Not many
Yeah.
people can say that.
Yeah. I think all five make a case for it, but I'm going with Logan Gilbert. I think he's
So I
going
have
to be.
penciled in too. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I think he's going to be our opening day guy.
Especially with talks of extensions, and he has 3 years left of team control. I think the Mariners they're in a spot right now where they have to show, hey, we want you to be our guy.
Yeah,
With
I
Castillo,
agree.
we've talked about his prime is past. He's still a very solid starter, still a very solid guy to have in your rotation.
Yeah.
But you got to show either Kirby or Gilbert that you're taking them seriously.
Yeah.
And I think the Mariners are going to pick Gilbert. I mean, he's going to be expensive for an extension, but if you show him now, show him now that you can put him as an opening day starter with confidence, he's gonna take that and he's gonna run with it. He might think about an extension more on the Mariners long term if they show some commitment to him. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think you got to show commitment to him. I think you got to show that you're putting your trust in him, and he wants. He's a competitive guy, and he wants to be. I think if he's not the opening day starter, I think it's gonna hurt his morale, and I think he's gonna kind of. Okay, Mariners aren't taking me serious. I don't know, but
like you said, he's a competitor, and he goes out there every day and does his best, knowing that if he gives 7 innings, he puts the Mariners in a really good shot to win the game. So
yeah,
but yeah, I got Logan Gilbert going 1. I think Castillo goes 2. It just makes sense. If you throw Gilbert and then Kirby right after, I think they're very similar profiled guys. A lot of hard throwing stuff, a lot of movement. Castillo kind of brings that flair. I think he'll be 2. I got Kirby at 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then running through it with Miller Wu.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Yep.
Wow, that was easy. Look at that. Only if our lineup was that confident.
I know, right? Yeah, pitching. Confident in that, easy, but yeah, the lineup, not so much. But
I think the bullpen's where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Our Mariners, the pitching staff, they've done some amazing things with some really no-name guys, some minor league guys who are working out.
Yeah.
We saw 2 years ago Matt Brash come up, and he was amazing. I mean,
Yeah, I was just about to say.
radar.
I was just about to say Matt Brash. I am excited to see him back this
I don't
season.
think he'll be back until May, though. I think it'll be a little bit after opening day.
Yeah,
It sucks, but
it does suck, but hopefully he'll be.
We've seen them
he'll be back.
Colin Schneider make him a really solid bullpen arm. Troy Taylor. I mean, there's some names
Yeah.
that no one would have looked at a few years ago.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Taylor Saucedo. Obviously, Andres Munoz.
Yeah.
I
Closer, he's there.
yeah, yep, of course.
I don't know if you've seen this, but there's been some some fans that want to see him traded because they have so much value on him. And why? Why would you trade Munoz? He's on a team-friendly deal with a lot of opportunity for him, even some options making him some big money. But
Yeah.
why would you get rid of him? I mean,
No, I wouldn't.
We still had Edwin Diaz, and Andre Munoz might be the second coming of him. So let's keep him.
Exactly. I was just about to say that would be just like Edwin Diaz. We trade him right after an amazing season, and then we get Jared Kelenic that everyone's excited about, and now he's not. Yeah.
Braves' 4th outfielder.
Yep. Exactly. So I think we need to keep Andres Munoz. I understand the the excitement of maybe getting making a trade with him, getting something in return, a batter, but I think we keep him, and I think having him as our closer is going to be more crucial to this team.
If there was a trade that Jerry DiPoto could not say no to, I'm talking a big name. Like I can't even comprehend what that trade would look like for DiPoto to say yes. But if there was something right, I could see the appeal, especially with how we develop guys. There's a next guy up mentality in that bullpen, and I think we would be okay. But I want to keep Munoz personally.
Yeah, I agree. It wouldn't be the end of the world if we, had made a deal for him that we couldn't refuse. But it'd be exciting to see, get a new bat in if they're promising. But yeah, I agree. I'd like to keep him. So.
So we got Munoz slotted in as the closer. I have the setup guys as Colin Schneider, as we talked about having a breakout season last year.
Okay.
Trey
Yeah.
Thornton I have on in our bullpen. He's just an inning eater. He's going to do a great job, and he can be there for those high leverage situations. And then Troy Taylor, I was really surprised with him last year. So
Yeah.
those are four of my guys. Running down the list, we obviously got to have a few lefties. So I have the two lefties as Taylor Saucedo and Gabe Spire.
Yeah.
We saw Spire have a great season in 2023. Took a step back in 24, but I think there's too good of upside there to not keep him in the conversation. Keep him here, see if he does what he needs to do. If he doesn't, there's always, like I said, next man up mentality.
Right.
Gregory Santos, he's gonna start the season healthy.
Yeah. I think our setup guys. I think Gregory Santos is gonna have an opportunity as a setup man in the bullpen this year. Colin Snyder. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you.
I think it gets interesting too when, like we said, Matt Brash comes back. I think it's going to be interesting to see who they slot in there because, especially if everyone's hot, it's going to be hard to take someone away. But you can't not have Matt Brash on your roster. So.
Yeah. I think once Matt Brash comes back, when he's healthy, I think he's going to get opportunity as well as a setup. Yeah. I mean, you have to after the season he put out.
I don't think we're going to see him in the same capacity as we did 2 years ago. He had the record for the most appearances in a year for a Mariners relief pitcher. I don't think we're going to see that
again. Yeah, probably not. But who's your?
My final guy though. So they've had some interesting acquisitions this year. I don't want to butcher the name. So there's the Asian pitcher from the Orioles minor league system. He's an interesting guy to look at. I did not put him in this spot.
Okay.
There's a few other acquisitions, but the one that I think is going to work out is Hagen Danner. Did you see them? They acquired him a few weeks ago.
I did actually. Yeah. Okay.
So if you look at, I'm going to pull up the stats really quick.
Okay.
So he didn't pitch in the majors last year. He hasn't pitched in the majors. He only pitched actually one game in the majors for the Blue Jays in 2023.
Yeah.
But last year in AAA Buffalo, I mean, he had 33 appearances and a 3.15 ERA. I know it's the minors. I understand that, but there's still a lot of upside there. And with the way we've been able to develop high-end bullpen pitchers, I mean, especially like again all these no-name guys that no one really thought about that are now turning out to be great MLB assets. I think he's going to get the opportunity until Matt Brash is back. Have a really good opportunity here to show what he's about and stay on the roster even with Matt Brash coming back. So.
Yeah, I like that. I'd like to see him in the mix. Give him a shot. I mean, we have so many options in the bullpen that if he can step up at the major league level, then that'd be nice to see.
I see him having a year kind of like Troy Taylor did. They throw him into some low leverage situations. We're losing by 5. Not looking good. Throw him in there, see what he can do, and then slowly creep him into those higher leverage scenarios and see what he does. So I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited.
I'm way more excited about pitching. If our rotation can go out and do what they did last year plus some, I'm still staying by it. We're gonna have a better rotation than the Dodgers if they can do that. Our bullpen, took a step back last year, and obviously with a lot of injuries, I think this year there's some definitely more interesting names, and it's more fortified than it was last year. I mean, our offense speaks for itself. There's some names there that can really pull together a good season and make it an interesting year, but they got to contribute. JP's got to step up. Dylan Moore's got to be more consistent. Randy Arozarena's got to do what he did back in 2020 to 2023. And Bailey Robles has got to keep doing what he's doing. And if that happens, I mean, maybe Mariners didn't need to acquire anyone. Maybe they did a good job by not signing anyone, not trading anyone, because maybe they believe in these players enough to contribute at a major level.
Yeah, and we have a lot of guys coming up that pipeline that the Mariners want to give an opportunity to. So I understand that aspect of it as well. If you trade to get guys that are going to block, their path to the majors, then so.
I see that with a lot of teams too. We see a lot of teams acquire guys for the now. Their prospects get forgotten, they get traded, and then they go to another team and look what they do. They turn into exactly what they want. So as much as I understand the Mariners need a bat, we'll go more in the next episode. As much as they need a bat. I think there's some upside to not getting someone for 5 years because we do have some really exciting young men coming up and
Yeah,
coming to play. So
yeah, yeah. I
I think
agree.
that's a good cover of our 26-man roster, though. I mean, I think opening days. I mean, it's coming up. Less than 2 months away now. So, or no,
Yep.
sorry, just over 2 months away. Um,
Yeah, mine.
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm ready for spring training. I just wanted to say I think the outfield is going to be kind of for the offense. We know what we expect with the pitching. I agree with your take on I'm more excited about the pitching.
Yeah.
Um, but I think the offense or the outfield, Rosarena stepping up, Victor Robles continuing where he left off last year, and Julio obviously continuing is going to be huge for our offense. I think that's going to be kind of the make or break for our offense is those three guys. And then you saw it in Donovan Solano. He's a 280 hitter. Yeah, he's 37 years old, but if
He's gonna be there in the lineup
yeah,
a lot.
so if he can continue that, I mean that's another good bat to add in, and I mean that's going to kind of what I think that's what it's going to come down to. So
I think it'd be really cool to see Victor Robles, Brender Rosarena, and Julio in the lineup in order like that. That'd be really cool to see. If
yeah,
our outfield, I mean, this outfield looks like what we thought was going to be Kyle Lewis, Jared Kelnick, and Julio Rodriguez. I know they're a little older, but I mean that's what we were looking at, 5-6 years ago.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
even 5-6 years ago. I think it was 2020, 2021 when we were thinking that was going to happen. So
yeah. That's true. Very true.
that's our
And
26-man roster, though. I mean, I think with no pending changes, I mean that's what it's going to look like opening day. So, like it
yeah,
or not, Mariners are going to have a lot of those names that we just mentioned on their roster starting in March.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I think it's fun to kind of look at what we have to work with right now. I still think and I'm hoping that the Mariners are going to make a move before spring training and acquire someone. But if that's what we have today, that's what we'd be looking at
Hmm.
uh, opening day if the season started today. So
Two bonus predictions. I think Julio is going to finish top 3 in MVP.
wow,
He's going to win
really?
it, but top 3. I think this is the year. And then I think George Kirby's going to get second in the NL or AL. I think George Kirby is going to get second in the AL Cy Young Award race.
Wow. Okay. Very high on
Yeah.
George Kirby and Julio. I love it. I love Julio. I think Julio's gonna have even though he didn't have a terrible year, I think he's gonna have a bounce back year. I think he's gonna have like his best season yet. Well, I don't think third in MVP, unfortunately, but I could see top 10,
Mm-hmm.
10 to 5 range
I'd even take that. I'd even take that.
in MVP voting. I think he's gonna have a huge year. That's one of my predictions too. I've been high on Julio coming into this season for sure. And in terms of any Cy Young voting or any Cy Young pitchers on our roster, I think Gilbert's going to be the closest guy. I think he's going to be closer to like 4 to 6 in AL Cy Young voting this year. And I think
You
he's
know what? When we get to October, we're going to be able to come back to this episode and take a look and see what happened.
yeah. I hope we're right or I hope we're undervaluing. But
if we were to see a Cy Young and an MVP in the Mariners in 1 year, that'd be awesome.
that'd be crazy. Yeah.
That would be. So. I think we can end the episode by obviously celebrating. We have a big name joining the Hall of Fame. Ichiro Suzuki is making it into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, we do.
9.7% unanimous. Oh, should have been unanimous, but
One voter. I know a lot has already been said and about that, and we know how everyone feels, how we feel, about that.
I don't know if you saw this, but during one of the press conferences in the last week, a reporter asked Ichiro how did he felt about not being 100% unanimous, and he said, I really would like to sit down and have dinner with the person that didn't vote for me because I have a few words for him. I thought that was awesome that he mentioned that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He knows that he deserved that. I mean, 4,000 plus hits amongst Japan and playing MLB.
Yep.
It should have been unanimous. I mean, no one plays until 45 years old, and being pretty good up until his 42-year-old season. So
Yeah.
um,
And he came into the majors at what, 27? So
I want to say he was even older than that.
really,
Let's take a look. Let's pull up the Safari.
10 straight seasons, 200 hits, 60 WAR, 60 WAR,
Wow.
crazy, career WAR.
Yeah, in '01 was obviously when he started. He was born in '73. So yeah, he was 28.
Yeah. So I don't know what reason that one voter had to not elect him, but
He just
you know,
wanted to be different.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, we're talking about him, so that's what he wanted, I guess.
Hey, we're talking about him. I wanted to show off a few things to celebrate Ichiro. Of all my Mariners memorabilia, I have a few Ichiro things. So I have his commemorative Ichiro bat. This bat is for him. His whole career, has his debut, his overall hitting, and all his accomplishments. And man, there's a long list there.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
awesome.
this one is for his 4,000th career hit between the two leagues. So he had collectively 1,278 on the Blue Waves, 2,533 on the Mariners, and then 189 on the Yankees before he had that 4,000 mark. So it's just very special player. He's well deserving of a Hall of Fame induction, and you'll see me at that game. I'm gonna do some live coverage from his induction on August 9th. I'll be there. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, what a Mariners legend.
what was
What
your favorite Ichiro memory that you can think of?
one of my favorite Ichiro memories, I mean, there's so many, but growing up, we were little when he was in his prime. But one thing that stood out to me is it's funny that you're actually wearing the jersey too.
Oh yeah.
Was the 2007 All-Star Game inside the park home run. Yes, sir. When I was little, I don't know what, I loved the All-Star Game. Like that was something every year I loved watching the All-Star Game. So when Ichiro hit that inside the park home run, I just remember seeing that and everyone talking about it and representing the Mariners. Yeah. What about you? You have a specific Ichiro moment that stands out to you?
Yeah, the '07 one's definitely a close second, but when he was inducted this last week, I went back and I watched the game, his last game when we played in Japan in 2019, and I think that's my favorite Ichiro memory. I was in college at the time. The game was I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. I woke up and watched the game before I went to class.
Yeah, I remember that actually. I think we both did. I think we both watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we were watching it together, but we were both
No.
watching it. And then I just remember waking up and I'm like, man, this guy has done so much for baseball, for me, and when I was playing baseball and select ball all the way up through high school. He just meant a lot to me, and I would always try to mimic his batting stance and bat lefty. I'm a right-hander by trade, so that was my favorite memory. Seeing him, I wish he would have ended on a higher note with a hit or something cool like that. Like Derek Jeter went out, but you know what?
Yeah.
The way his career was, he just was an amazing player, and I loved watching him. In Japan, his home country, everyone celebrating him, and that was just my favorite memory. Waking up early and watching that game was very special to me.
Yeah. 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 All great things from Ichiro. I love that he's still like I've seen videos of him, playing catch with Julio and the guys being there during spring training and still being, involved and around the Mariners organization. So it's just yeah.
Very special player, and we won't see one like that for a while.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. Legend. Yeah, I think that's where we'll end it. I just wanted to have some fun, talk about our thoughts on the roster and what we would roll out if season was starting tomorrow. So